What up, people? It's the Dub Podcast on I Live for Saturdays, the best college football channel on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at I Live for Saturdays, or as in the number 4. Like, comment, and subscribe. And NFL Draft 2017 in the books, out in Philly. Philly, you guys did your thing. Very interesting draft. I did a draft review like we did 2 years ago with Don V. Watch Don V Fridays on YouTube and watch him every Friday. And also with Eric, my boy as well. 2 years ago we did most overrated player in the 2015 draft, most underrated player. We also did, I think, top 2 or 3 favorite drafts, and also top 2 or 3 worst drafts. And we were able to call Don B. He spit his knowledge. We hit on a lot of good predictions. We didn't do so good on some. Might laugh at them if you look back, but I mean, that's the point. That's what we love about sports, right? Like, we could say a bunch of shit, and when we get it wrong, we're just like, hey man, fuck it. I mean, I'm no expert. We just talking out here. It's just fun. And then when we get it right, we pound our chest. And you gotta say, yeah, we call that. Like, I call Bryce Petty being trash. I knew that was gonna happen, and I don't think I was alone in that. But I called Bryce Petty being trash, and I think I said something about the Texans having a bad draft, and I think like only one player is still a starter or something like that, or is on the team. Eric did a beast job. He called the Raiders having the best draft. I think Don B did as well. He said San Francisco's draft was gonna be trash, and it was. So we hit it a lot. So go back and listen to that. Watch it on YouTube. I should put the link in the description. But yeah, I talked with Eric first, and then later I had to hit up Don V to see what he thought about the draft. So enjoy. I don't even want to do the intro. I just want to go into the Bears.
Yeah, like, fuck the intro. Guys, if you don't know, this is Ricky over here coming at you hot. This is
with some hot takes of the draft for the love of the pod. The Dub Podcast off season, the Dub Podcast draft featuring Don V. Later on, I will add him. And the Bears fucked up. Fuck them.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So I can say I've been proudly following the Bears since 2003. So they've been fucking terrible most of my life. Bothered me the most. I like the fact that we got a quarterback. I just don't like the fact that we traded so much to get him. I mean, we don't have enough talent where we can justify not taking as many shots as we can in the draft. Like, we gave up a 3rd-round pick, a 4th-rounder, another pick for the following year. You know, and people say, like, oh, the draft picks don't matter if the quarterback ends up being good. It's like, okay, well, we still need to surround him with talent, because otherwise you're going to have an Andrew Luck situation where you don't have, like, anything on defense. He has to carry the entire team the entire time, and he's on his ass half the time because he doesn't have protection. So, no, I don't think just taking a quarterback is enough. Like, we've seen it in the NFL. You need to surround them with significant talent. Like, no quarterback can carry, like, any team by themselves to the playoffs and win games. I mean, you have to hope that you have Aaron Rodgers, and even he has at least
he's got
like some semblance of talent, but he hasn't been able to win a Super Bowl since 2010. And he's gotten better, and his players have at least supposedly been better since then. You know, I hope that Mitch Trubisky ends up being a good player, and I hope that, you know, we're all wrong and, you know, he doesn't get booed at Bulls games, but you know, we just have so many needs at all these positions. At wide receiver, I mean, our number 1 is Kevin White.
Some trash. Dude, I said that, like, when we drafted him, he was going to be a bust. And I didn't know it was because of an injury, but I just knew that shit was going to work out. He reminded me of Blaine Gabbert, where every scout was just saying, oh, yeah, he's really good. Okay, why is he good? Oh, because he's really good. Never gave out an explanation. They're just like, oh, yeah, he's really athletic. Well, there's always a bunch of athletic-ass fucking receivers in the draft. So, I don't know, man. I'm fucking pissed. Fuck Mitch Trubisky. No, I can't say that. I can't say fuck Mitch Trubisky. We got to ride and die with him now.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much my quarterback, and I hope to God that he's the second coming of fucking anybody, like John Elway, whoever.
Give me Alex Smith. Give me Alex Smith out of this. And like, okay, so really quick, I'm not gonna go too deep, and I might make a little 5-minute pod on this, but I think if we give Mitch Trubisky, if you give any quarterback that has some talent, 5 years, 4 years, and you set out a whole development plan for him, and stop worrying about winning in the first or second year, or even the third year. Just stop thinking about that. Stop thinking about getting good stats. Is he trying to develop? Is he improving week by week? At the end of the year, where is he at? And stop fucking worrying about winning, and stop fucking worrying about the stats in the first and second year. Like, Jared Goff, I feel bad for him. I don't think he's going to work out anyway because he's skinny as hell. But
too small. Like,
they gave up on him on the first game. Like, come on, man. Like, how are you going to give up on someone in the first game, a rookie? Like, today I just saw Everton and Chelsea. This kid, Tom Davis. He's a beast, but, like, they're not going to care about him. He's 18 years old. Plays for Everton. They're not going to care about how he actually is until, like, 2 or 3 years later down. Like, they don't give a crap how he's a beast, though. But they don't give a crap right now how good he is. They care what is he going to be in the future, and they're trying to develop him. And in the NFL, they don't do that. I wish they did. I wish we did it with Mitch, but this kid's going to be gone in 2 years. I feel it. I hope not. We got to ride with him, but it's the NFL. It's what they do, man.
Yeah, and I think any Chicago fan can really relate to this. This feels similar to 2008, 2009. Yeah, 2008 when it was the LaMarcus Aldridge, Tyrese Thomas draft. And if you guys remember, we had the number 2 pick. And we take LaMarcus Aldridge. And I remember the scouts being like, yeah, this is a fantastic player.
20 and 10.
20 and 10 for his career.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, Bulls, this is awesome. Like, we have that kid, Joakim Noah. Maybe these two will be great, like, you know, playing in the post together. I'm excited. And then we traded for Tyrese Thomas, who had a great NCAA run, had good upside, whatever the hell that means. I mean, I don't know how much more upside you need from 20 and 10. And we saw how that worked out. I mean, Tyrese Thomas he showed flashes, and he just never developed because he just wasn't good enough. And that's how I felt about this draft. I was so excited to have either Jamal Adams. You could have even thrown in Jonathan Allen or Solomon Thomas. I would have been super excited for one of those 3 players.
Yep.
You know, hell, if we and that would have been great. And my dream scenario draft would have been Adams in the first, and we can either trade up in the first to get Kaiser or take him in the second round because I just think Kaiser is going to be the best quarterback in this draft.
Yeah.
And what we did is we decided to go swinging for the fences because Ryan Pace is on he only has 2 years left, and if he doesn't show anything, he's going to be fired. And that's what bothers me the most. I don't think John Fox is the right coach to be developing a quarterback.
Hell no.
I mean, for God's sakes, who was the last quarterback that he ever developed?
Jake Delhomme.
Jake Delhomme? I mean, who's to say it was even him? I mean, that was almost fucking 12 years ago. Yeah. You know, like while he was down in with Denver, he got lucky that John Elway is the GOAT, like vice president, and got him Manning.
And he couldn't even win a Super Bowl with him.
I mean, and they fired him. Like, they got rid of him, and they were like they were in like playoffs. They were a great team, and they got rid of him because they knew that he wasn't doing anything enough for the young players to develop. Yeah, I just don't think this is going to be a great coaching fit for him. I feel bad for this kid. I feel like he's really going to be in a situation where he's not being put in position to succeed. We got rid of Alshon Jeffrey, who would have been a great weapon for him. We're giving him Kevin White and Cameron Meredith. Our O-line might be decent. Hopefully, Jordan Howard can continue to be a great running back.
That's a good start for him, though.
You know,
having Jordan Howard.
Hopefully that continues to do well. I mean, the rest of the Bears draft, if we want to get into it, their tight end. I mean, he's a D2 player. He might be good.
I like him. I'm telling you, like I said, like all these like D2, D3, FCS guys that are taken like really early in the draft, they usually end up being like these Hall of Fame type players. Yeah. I don't know if he's gonna be a Hall of Famer, but I like this tape. I mean, who was wearing him down in college? Ain't nobody was wearing him down.
If anybody
he's got he's the freshest legs out there right now.
I mean, if anybody saw the videos, it looked like, I mean, his tape looked like it was from the 90s, and he was just like balling on these tiny ass people. I mean, he's a monster. So.
Yeah.
We got this running back who's 5'6", and people were taming him as Darren Sproles Light. Yeah, newsflash, that's not a good thing. I mean, it's exciting, and if you want that on your special teams, that's great, but when does
Garrett Wolf?
Yeah, Garrett.
This is the next Garrett Wolf.
This is Garrett
That's
Wolf.
what he is.
Garrett Wolf 2.0. I mean, at least Garrett, So we'll see. I mean, maybe he'll be a special teams player.
I like Eddie Jackson though.
Yeah, let's go with the safety. I mean, he had a pretty gruesome injury in college. So, I mean, he was a 4-year starter over in Alabama. So I'm gonna hope that translated. Maybe it can be a good character guy in the team because our safeties, for God, have not had a good one since Mike Brown, and that is almost 12 years ago now.
Yeah, and I don't even know what to say about the last few picks. I didn't even. I was just whatever.
We only had 5 picks, and we took a guard who also played D2.
Yeah. Kutztown.
From Kutztown. So we'll see.
I think he's like the 4th guy or third. No, I said 3rd guy. I think like who's been drafted from that college. I don't know. That college is like they pumping in their steroids. That's all I know.
So yeah, guys. Shit. I mean, that's the Bears. I don't know what else I can say about them. I hope to God this Trubisky kid shows enough, in preseason that he's at least developing in some manner. At least we get good reports about him picking up he's never played in a pro-style offense at all. I mean, he seems he's got a nice arm, and he seems like have a really great attitude. I just hope we have enough to give him a chance to actually develop, because, I mean, this could end up being a Jared Goff thing where he doesn't ever get a chance, or just, like, so many quarterbacks that come in and don't ever get a chance to develop.
Like, I don't even understand what the hell we're doing. Like, what is the plan here? Like, I really don't, like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, seriously, like, I don't mind the quarterback. All right, I get you want to take the quarterback. Every team needs a quarterback. And then you want to give him a tight end. But don't we have, like, a need for, like, almost every position?
I mean, number one, I feel like would have been wide receiver. I was going to touch on to this next, but who I really wanted was Juju from USC. I thought he would have been a great fit for the Bears. But we didn't have a 3rd-round pick because we traded up to get Trubisky. We got a running back, a guard, a safety, which we needed, but we got him in the 4th round. So
yeah,
I mean,
but I like Eddie. I think he'll make the team, and I think he can develop maybe next year. I don't know about this year, but maybe next year. But what I was gonna say is not my theory, but it's like what I'm completely convinced, and I believe it's the truth, that in Chicago, stop fucking around and trying to get these quarterbacks and trying to get these offenses, man. We're in the Windy City. Harsh winds. Like, we're on the lake. Like, the stadium is on the fucking lake. Like, you can't get windier than that. And fucking, as much as we hated Lovie Smith at some point, and I like Lovie Smith, but, like, as the Bears fans, like, we hated Lovie Smith. He had it right. Load up on defense. Get big-ass dudes on the offensive line. Get a decent running game. And don't worry about the quarterback so much, because if you give him weapons and give him a decent supporting cast, we can put up some points, and our defense is going to win games for us, because we're in the fucking Windy City, and we got to go play Green Bay anyway in the goddamn cold. The only teams that, would be scary are Minnesota and Detroit because they're indoors, but, I mean, they're shit franchises anyway, so why do we worry about them so much? Like, load up on defense. Lovie Smith had it right. Have Monsters of the Midway back. Stop worrying about the fucking quarterback so much. You need a quarterback, but fuck, man. Like,
I mean, I think
I
the
don't think
past
that's
couple
so hard
years,
to figure it out.
I think the past couple years have shown us that a great defense is enough. I mean, Peyton Manning. I love Peyton Manning. Still, I think he's the greatest quarterback of my lifetime.
Yeah.
But he was shit. I mean, he was like Rex Grossman level bad in that Super Bowl. I mean, he did not win that Super Bowl. That defense, Von Miller, like, took the Super Bowl from Cam Newton's arms. Like, he wrestled it away from him. I mean, we saw Joe Flacco win a Super Bowl. I mean, it's just the list for great quarterbacks being in the Super Bowl. I just feel like you don't necessarily need that top tier quarterback to get there.
No. If you got it, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if you happen to have,
you don't win a lot of games,
and you got Brady, great. I mean, there's only one Brady and there's one Rodgers. I mean, Rodgers hasn't been to the Super Bowl in this is about to be year number 7, and he's supposed to be the best quarterback in the league. So I just and he's been let down by his team, specifically on defense.
Yep.
It is what it is. I hope that the Bears show something, and maybe we're wrong, and some of these defensive players we've had over the past couple years develop, and I don't know. I'm tired of talking about them.
You couldn't tell that was our that was our number 1 worst draft. Both of them, we both share that. So we got to do those other 2. But let's go with a lighter note. Happier times. Let's give credit to other teams What's your number one favorite team, favorite draft?
Okay, so my number one, and I was going back and forth, but I really love what the Browns did. And I know they're the Browns, and they're going to get shit because they've been a terrible franchise forever. But you know what? Eventually, you're going to hit on something, you know? Like, you can't be bad forever, and I really believe that. Like, odds are you're going to, like, eventually, like, start batting over 500, right? Myles Garrett seemed like a no-brainer. A lot of these old players were bashing him because he got a lot of the same talk that Julius Peppers used to get. Who's the other guy that just got taken from the Texans? Number one, Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah.
Like, they seem like they don't try. It's like, you know what, man? They probably aren't trying that much because you know how many freaking snaps they have to take in college? It's absurd. Like, you can't expect these players to be like going hard in the paint every single snap. It's ridiculous.
Warren Sapp. When Warren Sapp was talking about that. And like he was playing football where there was like 60 plays in the total game. Like a defense is going, like Alabama had to go 100 snaps. Yep. They had to play 100 snaps. Like fuck Warren Sapp.
Yeah, I mean, different eras, different ways of playing. You know, if this kid could just be like a couple time Pro Bowler, I think the Browns got a great pick out of it. You know, and on top of that, I like the Jabril Peppers move. I know he's not great in coverage, and they probably needed somebody at corner because Justin Gilbert was a pretty big bust, and Joe Hayden's getting up there in years. He's coming off an injury. But I really did like the Peppers move. I mean, maybe they can kind of put him as a hybrid, kind of like a Honey Badger or the Shaq Thomas from the Panthers. Maybe that kind of role where he's kind of like, you know, playing coverage and in the box. And I also just happen to like their tight end pick. I mean, that kid from Miami,
David Njoku.
I mean, that kid's awesome.
That's the O's favorite player of like all time, like the last 3 years from Miami.
And we know the U does something great, and they seem to develop great tight ends. So I mean, I'm gonna give it to them and see they're probably gonna continue to do that in the next level. And of course, my favorite pick that they did, it was taking the Sean Kaiser. I know he's not ready right now, and I mean his asshole of a coach Brian Kelly sure reminded us of that. But I think he's got a lot of the skill sets that you look for in the quarterback. He's got a great arm. He's got a great motion. He played in pro-style offense while he was at Notre Dame. He put up good numbers. I mean, this past year was rough, but I feel like a lot of that had more to do with the coaching staff and how confused they were with how they're going to be playing. I think he's got a real shot to be kind of like a Derek Carr-level quarterback. He may never be an all-time great, but I think if he continues to run with weapons, he could really develop into something special. But yeah, they were like just hands down. They traded down when they needed to. They didn't take Watson at 12. Like I think everybody wanted them to do that. They kept going down. They picked up extra picks. They have another first rounder for next year. I really like the direction this team is going, and it makes sense. They've decided to really load up at all these other positions. I mean, if you look at their O-line, it's actually looking really good. They may actually have like a top 5 O-line this year. And I think they're going to try to continue that at the defensive line. I know Danny Shelton hasn't looked that great. Maybe having somebody like Myles Garrett next to him is gonna open things up for him.
Yeah,
I just really like the direction they're going into.
They're doing good, man. I like the Browns, man. Garrett, obvious pick. I said that on Downbeat Fridays. I said they'd be dumb to not take him. Njoku, I think, is the best tight end in the draft. I like O.J. Howard, but Njoku, just watch the tape, man. Put them together. Just look at their body. Look at their individual performance. He's better. And Peppers, just get him on the damn field. Every single snap, and I'm not the only person to say this, every snap, every game he played, he was the best player on the field. Every single damn time he was the best player on the field. So draft that kid. Get them on your goddamn team. Find a way to get him on the field. Kaiser, I said he's the best quarterback in the draft. So constantly the Browns kept taking these freaking awesome players, and they made trades to get Njoku. I like Roderick Johnson. I like Caleb Brantley. They took a kicker from Arizona State. I forget his name. I think it's Zane or something like that. But he's has the most field goals made in the history of college football. So like just constantly they kept hitting on draft picks. And I think they're balling right now. I think they're rolling. But I do want to say, disclaimer, even though they made a lot of good trades and all that to get Njoku and to get Peppers, you can only give so much credit to some of these teams that pick really low and pick early. Again, I give them credit for all those trades that they had to make, and then the late picks were great. But every time you're picking that early, you always, obviously, right, logic, you're getting the best player of that round or whatever it is. My second favorite team that I saw was, or actually, Browns was my second. My favorite team was the Bengals. I think Eric didn't like the John Ross pick that much.
Yeah, I mean, just touch on that real quick before he goes in. John Ross was awesome in college. I just don't think the Bengals really needed to get a wide receiver when they have other needs.
But this is my thing with that. Andy Dalton isn't that good. He's just not. And if you want him to be decent and you want him to keep being your quarterback, you have to continuously surround him with weapons. You got to continuously surround him with talent. And then they picked up Joe Mixon. Again, surrounding him with talent. A lot of controversy around that. I'm not going to even speak on that. I'm not even going to touch that subject.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to give them a lot of credit, though. The Bengals have done a great job as an organization of being able to keep a lot of these guys, character guys, and give them a second chance. And a lot of that has to do with Marvin Lewis.
Yeah.
He gets trashed a lot about his playoff wins, but I mean, the fact that the Bengals are at least a conversation for playoffs every year, it's kind of it goes a lot towards what he's done. And if anybody's gonna be able to and let's get in, there's no turning around. I just want him to be able to move on and continue to just, he's a talent, and the Bengals pretty much said that with the picks. Like, they understand he has baggage, and he may or may not be a great person, but they understand that, like, hey, we need a talent at running back. Like we said, he might arguably be the second best talent at running back in the draft. So yeah, I mean,
we'll see what happens with that.
See how it goes.
I really like Jordan Willis out of Kansas State. I love Carl Lawson. I love when these 5-star, 4-star, cusp of the 5-star recruits in the past end up getting drafted in the 4th and 5th round, because they always end up being at least solid players for teams. So Carl Lawson was a big-time recruit. Josh Malone, I loved him out of Tennessee. Ryan Glasgow out of Michigan. Him and Taco Charlton just ate up people. I don't know who necessarily gets the most credit for that, but I really like Ryan Glasgow. If you just look at him and just look at him, at his body, not at the product at the end. Oh, they tore up the offensive line. Just look at him. Look at his work. He did awesome by himself. They got a kicker, Jake Elliott, and they had a bunch of other lot of picks that, they were just shooting darts. But there was a lot of guys that they took. They just kept, again, hit after hit after hit, and I was just like, oh my goodness, Bengals just on fire, man. I really love the Bengals. What was your number 2 team?
Number 2, it's a favorite here for Ricky, the Steelers. I just loved a lot what they did. I like the TJ Watt pick a lot. Disclaimer, I did go to Wisconsin, saw him play a lot. He may not be JJ, which is unfair. The Ringer actually did a great article about TJ Watt and his comparisons with JJ. He's trying to separate himself from that. He's actually got a lot of measurables. If you kind of go back to draft days, to Khalil Mack. He played at a Big Ten school, played against a lot of good competition. He only had about a year and a half only at defensive end, but he did enough at, rushing the quarterback, and he's not like an unathletic player. And I really dislike what the Steelers have kind of done recently, ever since that Jarvis Jones pick in 2012, which I really did not like. They kind of decided to go with somebody that really lacked athleticism. And the past 2 drafts, they've gotten Ryan Shazier and Bud Dupree, who I was just a big fan of. They just had a lot of athleticism, and I feel like a defensive end, that's just great, a great thing to have. He can also do a little bit in coverage. I really like the pick. He's got like huge arms, 11-inch hands. Great character guy. He's a perfect Steeler, I feel like. Second, Juju Smith. I mean, I just like.
By the way, I did love TJ Watt. I just thought maybe a little too high. I think I definitely had him in my top 5 linebackers, but I did like TJ Watt pick.
Yeah. Juju, I just loved watching him at USC. I know we haven't had a Pro Bowl USC wide receiver since Keyshawn, which was the fucking 90s. I think he's better than Robert Woods has been And I think he's got like a real special talent. He's great at getting up in the air and getting these 50-50 balls. And I mean, you give a wide receiver somebody like Ben Roethlisberger, I mean, they're going to put up numbers. And
he's got weapons, man.
I mean, Matavius Bryant, I mean, let's hope that he can, like, stay out of trouble. I mean, this goes back to the weed thing, which I think is bullshit. But, I mean, I just can't even imagine what that kind of lineup would look like with Brown, Bryant, and now Smith-Schuster. I mean, that's just going to be so great to watch. The Steelers are one of my favorite teams. They just throw the ball down the field a lot. They have a lot of fun with it. I'm really excited to see what this kid can do. I also did happen to like they got James Conner in the 3rd round. If you don't know already, he's got a great story. Came back, battled cancer, had a great career at Pitt. And for fit wise, I think he could really do a lot of the things that God, what's this guy's name? The current backup.
Le'Veon? D'Angelo Williams.
Pretty big back. I feel like he could really just take a lot of the hits away from Le'Veon. He got some good talent. He was the 8th running back taken in this draft. He's had a lot of workload. I just feel like he's a good blend, and he's probably not going to ever be a Pro Bowler, but I think he's a good complement to what they currently have.
Yeah. If it wasn't for cancer, James Conner would have been essentially what Joe Mixon was this year, where he was a 3rd running back in the class, but everyone was saying, but he could possibly be the 2nd best. Yeah. But yeah, good for him. I'm very glad, very happy for the kid. He worked his ass off, get back, fight cancer. God bless him.
Yeah. And last pick that I really liked, I like Dobbs. I know he's a work in progress. I just feel like
work in progress.
I liked his makeup. He had some rough times at Tennessee despite having weapons. I just feel like they're in a position where they can kind of keep trying to take some of the quarterbacks and see what can kind of hit. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Landry Jones. I just think with Roethlisberger, with his injuries, you might as well see what you got in some of these quarterbacks. So yeah, Steelers just continue to do well.
He's definitely a good locker room guy.
Yeah, I just really like a lot of what the Steelers do just as an organization. I love Mike Tomlin. I just love their team and how they're run. I'm hoping the Bears can one day get to that point. But yeah, going with my last favorite draft. This one is one of my favorite teams right now in the league is the Titans. I know they got a lot of trash for taking Corey Davis 6th. You know what? This kind of goes back.
Why though?
I don't think people like the fact that they got him when they felt like they had other needs. I love the pick. I love the idea of just loading up. They have Mariota. You got to give him as many weapons as possible.
He doesn't have one weapon. He needs something. Fuck the bullshit with people. I hate those people that, wide receivers and running backs don't cut. The quarterback needs weapons, dude. Yeah. I play Madden. That shit is hard. When Keenan Allen was digressing, I had him draft a wide receiver, man. You need some weapons. It's fucking hard.
And I mean, now I think it's a great compliment. They have Delaney Walker down there. I mean, DeMarco Murray played pretty well, and we also got that kid, the Alabama running back.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Derrick Henry. I mean, I really like that what they decided to do there. Davis also apparently really is a big fan of Mariota. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this kid can do. I know he went to a smaller school at Western Michigan. I saw him play. He was awesome. The few games I did see him play.
He tore you up.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it up close. Wisconsin. Kid can ball. Yeah. I know they're also lacking a cornerback. They got this kid Adoree Jackson from USC. He seems to have a good measurable. I mean, he ran track in college, ran a 4.42. He's a big guy.
Extra small.
I'm sorry, 5'10". I'm looking at the wrong player. We're gonna see what they got down there. I like the direction that the Titans are going.
I love Adoree, man. 5-star recruit, big time player. He was a big time player for USC. Made big plays constantly. Great in coverage. He's small, but even against the big receivers, he was able to cover them, and even in jump balls, do really, really well. I love Adoree. He's awesome, man.
And I think we need to think about where he's going to be playing. He's playing in the AFC South, and they do have smaller receivers. And where the offenses are going is they're putting a lot of these fast twitch receivers at the corner slot.
Yep.
And if you got a corner that can keep up and stay inside these wide receivers, I mean that's a tremendous benefit. And I really,
White.
yeah, and I really feel like it'll just be great for him to, be able to play inside. He may not be like your shutdown corner that we're traditionally looking at now these days, where they're like 6 feet tall and huge. But I think you need players like Jackson on a good defense. Third, they took this kid Taylor from Western Kentucky. You don't know much about him.
Offense.
He did play at high powered offense like Ricky just said. I just like the idea of getting, just throwing as many weapons as you can from Mariota. If you took him number 2, you got to see what he's got. You got to see what he can do with all types of weapons. We really just got to see what Mariota can do in this. This is going to be year number 3. This is a big year for him.
Yeah.
And I liked what I've seen so far. I just want to see him with as many weapons as possible to just maximize his potential. That was.
They took a tight end too.
Yeah, they took another tight end.
They're just throwing weapons at him, man. They're trying to get whatever they can, and I really like the direction of the Titans. I would have them in my top 3, but like I said, there was a lot of good drafts I saw. They just I like the other teams.
Yeah. And then just side note, their last pick in the 7th round was this great name, Kalfini Muhammad. I mean, that's a badass name.
Right,
that's a great name. So I'm just
gonna
put that. It's a great football name. So we'll see. He ran a 4.35. He's a pretty quick guy. I mean, 7th round running back. So who knows? But yeah, Titans. I just love the direction going. It really makes me jealous as a fan when I have the Bears and I don't know what they're doing, to just name off teams like the Browns, Titans, and Steelers, who seem to be going in a direction that I understand and makes sense, and I'd be really excited if I was those fans. So, best of luck to those teams. Ricky, what was your
my third
pick?
So, I'm not giving them extra credit because they went later on, but I do want to give a shout out to the Dallas Cowboys because that's my third team. Very impressed. Again, when you're picking late, it's very hard to get good players, like real top players. I thought they really balled out with these picks. Taco Charlton, I love him. I freaking love him. I think he's probably 3rd or 4th best defensive lineman in this draft, right after Allen and Thomas and Garrett. I think they stole him at 28. I think they did awesome. And again, not giving him extra credit. I'm just saying, impressive, very impressive. Chidobe Awuzie from Colorado. I loved him at Colorado. I think he's 6'3", big dude. The only thing he needs to work on in his ball skills in the air. Can he get more picks? That's where the league is going. That's where football is going. He needs more picks. He can't just keep doing these little pass breakups. And he was awesome at that in Colorado. I loved him, but he's got to get better. He's got to get better hands. He's got to get some catches. Jordan Lewis, my favorite underrated dude. 5-star, or I think he's 4-star, top recruit. I think he was a 5th-year senior, but he always looked like a man amongst boys. I think people were scared of him because of his age, because I think he's already 23. But he's a beast, dude. When Jabril couldn't play at Florida State, he balled out and he stood out, man. He did unbelievable. I love Jordan Lewis. You could leave him on an island, and he did really well, at least in college football. I don't know how they'll translate as much as in the NFL, but you're going to get a really good player out of him, either nickel corner, maybe you move him to safety if you need to, whatever. He's a great cover dude. I really love Juju. Ryan Switzer. Dudes have been saying for years, since his freshman year, I think he was a 3-star recruit, but he balled out in his freshman year. They've been saying he's the next Wes Welker, which is so easy because he's white and he's kind of short. So, he's Wes Welker. He's Wes Welker. This is what people always do. But to me, he looks like a Darren Sproles that could catch better. Like, shifty as hell, makes people miss. He's got decent speed. He's actually a lot stronger than he looks. Really good player, makes people miss. Like Eric said, you're going to need Adoree Jackson to cover him. These short guys that are really shifty, really quick, with really good hands. Don't know much about Xavier Woods, like Marquez White out of Florida State. I really like what Dallas was doing. They took a lot of DBs. They took a lot of defensive linemen because that's where they're missing right now. They're just trying to throw. Okay, let's just give another chance. Another guy, Joey Ivy out of Florida, liked him. Florida defensive lineman, great. And then they took Noah Brown out of Ohio State. Always take an Urban Meyer coach player. Always try to get at least one if you can't. If you can do it, try to get an Urban Meyer coach player. Those guys end up usually making rosters and usually end up being impactful players on your team. Try to get those Urban Meyer players. I love the Dallas Cowboys. I love what they did, and I'm super impressed on how they did it later in rounds. Not early like the Browns. And the Browns, again, they did trade for some of those picks, but, Myles Garrett was a no-brainer. Taco Charlton fell in their lap, and then they took a bunch of guys that I love.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys are in a position where, we all know their offense is great. They did lack a lot in the secondary these past couple years. Like Ricky's right, you just gotta kind of just have to throw as many as you can. I mean, if you hit on one of these guys and you got yourself a real gem at cornerback, I mean, you're set. It's a good direction. I like that they decided to kind of go all defense and taking best player available as well.
The first time I saw that work, I was kind of I think I was a teenager, and the first time I saw really do that was Steve Spurrier when he was at South Carolina. They took 6 DBs in total. I think 4 of them were true corners, but I think they were saying a bunch of guys could move around. 4 of them were like top 100 players in the country, cornerbacks or DBs. Guess who came out of that? Stephon Gilmore. So I love that strategy. If you need a player, just keep throwing. Just try to get more. Either competition comes up, or you're just playing. Your odds. You're playing your odds. Competition raises people progression, or it could just be the odds thing where, hey, we just got lucky and we just got a guy. So I love that strategy. I really like what the Dallas Cowboys did in this draft.
Yeah. Those were our top 3 favorites. And then we went into. I'm gonna go talk about another team whose draft I did not like. This really has to do not the players. It has to do a little bit more with the value. I did not like the Jaguars' top selection. They decided to go with Leonard Fournette. I like Leonard Fournette. I just think we've seen this before, where a team that has a lot of needs, especially at quarterback and line, take a running back. I just. They've taken T.J. Yeldon. They took him in the first or second round 2 years ago.
I like this pick, though.
I just think they have so many needs already.
But you still need to
Bortles.
You can't give up on Bortles, I don't think. Like I said, I think they're doing what I'm saying. 4 or 5 years of development, and you got to give them some weapons, man. No?
I mean, I guess if you're gonna maybe you're setting this up for somebody else after Bortles.
Maybe.
I really liked Fournette in college. He was awesome. I'm hoping that he plays well enough in the NFL. I mean, running backs have really been devalued. It's not like he has a great offensive line to run.
Yeah.
To be running. I mean, I think everybody gets so enamored with Ezekiel Elliott. But let's face it, you could have thrown probably about any other of the top 15 running backs, and they probably would have had a similar year. I mean, that O-line is pretty ridiculous. And Elliott does have some skill set, but I think maybe the Cowboys would have even been better off either trading down last year or taking somebody on defense, a defensive end.
If they took a pass rusher and then drafted Jordan Howard.
I mean, and there's and they could have just gone with McFadden or just name any other running back, and I think that would have had a similar. I mean, they probably wouldn't have had the 1,500 yards, but I just think their O line is it's world class, and the Jaguars aren't there at all. I mean, Bortles gets sacked a lot. The running backs don't have a lot of lanes to be running in, and unless you are just the shiftiest guy in the backfield or just strong enough to pile through everybody, I mean, we're going to be seeing this guy average 3 yards a carry. I mean, we saw it in L.A. with the Rams, with that kid. What's his kid's name?
Todd Gurley.
Todd
You
Gurley.
said he was going to be the most overrated player, and you didn't say because of his talent. You said because who he's going to run behind.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's got no quarterback.
That team is garbage, and I just think that a lot of times these running backs, you as special as they're going to be, you need to have the right scheme. They need to have the right players in front of them, because they're just so dependent. I mean, you just stack eight players in a box, and your line sucks, I mean, sure, you can, if you're able to actually get past the line of scrimmage, you might be able to
hit those
average.
play actions, though. Dude, just hit those play actions every time.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna work out. You're gonna see. I'm gonna be proven right.
I don't know.
Be a good pick.
I didn't like the pick. I felt like they could have. I would have taken Deshaun Watson here. I would have liked that pick, or they could have gone. And,
you gonna give up on Bortles already?
I am not a fan, and so they try to address it with Cam Robinson from Alabama.
I thought that was a good pick too.
I mean, we'll see. I just
you don't like Alabama players.
I just don't like Alabama linemen.
I
feel like a lot of times they're overused. They come in with so many miles on them already, which is crazy to think because they're only 23. But
and like them hidden injuries that you don't even find out until the summer. I broke my ankle like 3 years ago, but Saban just taped it up.
Saban just doesn't let them take any time off. So we'll see. They went with this kid Smoot from Illinois.
Yo, he was a projected first round pick though early on. I liked him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he had some
upside.
Upside.
Hit the upside. Hit the Tyrus Thomas.
I mean, I like going pass rusher. I feel like they're already at a point where they have enough of these guys. They've I think the past 2 years have gone out and grabbed top end defensive linemen. They still have Dante Fowler down there.
Yeah.
I like the way their defense is going. I just think offensively, they're just not in a great place, and I don't know how far they're going to go.
Yeah.
They do have a new coach down there, so maybe things are going to be different. I mean, Gus Bradley just never had a real shot. I think that he hitched his wagon with the wrong quarterback, and it cost him his job. They took this kid, D.D. Westbrook. I think this pick would have been okay with another franchise. This is now another player that Jacksonville has taken that has had character issues. And we can go back to Justin Blackmon, who, shout out to Ricky, had a Twitter feud with him. You can
I didn't even mean to do that, though.
You can look it up.
I didn't understand Twitter at the time. But yeah, D.D. Westbrook, man. I like him, though.
I'm not excited about it. The guy's been arrested not just once, but twice for domestic violence while he was in college.
Yeah.
I just feel like the Jaguars are in a position where they should be taking guys that can stay on the field. I mean, we can just go with, they have a list here. Reggie Williams, Jimmy Smith, Ace Sanders, and Blackmon, who have dealt with, drug or alcohol issues before. I like what they already have right now with Allen Robinson and, what's the other kid's name?
Goddamn.
Allen Robinson and Allen. I think it's the name of their writers.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just don't like them. I just don't like it. I think you want to give these guys a second chance, but I just don't feel like an organization like the Jaguars can necessarily afford to do that. I mean, if you're gonna go with Ricky's plan that you want to give them 5 years to develop, I feel like you need to give them guys that can stay on the field and aren't going to be suspended for hitting a woman again. Allen Hurns, there we go. And I like these two players, so we'll see. I really was just more disappointed and I just really did not like the Fournette pick, and it really soured a lot of what I felt about Jacksonville. I felt like they should have traded down. I feel like they could have gone and got Jamal Adams, who I really liked. I couldn't believe the Jets got him. We'll see. I didn't like the pick. It's not because of the talent. I just don't like the situation. So good luck to Fournette. Hopefully we see you in 3 years.
If you're still alive.
If you're still around, maybe you go to the Patriots. Who knows?
So my second worst draft. I don't like throwing shade too much. I really don't like it. But I gotta keep piling onto this kid that I've been doing. Malik Hooker. I think he's overrated. So the Colts, yeah. So the Colts trash draft. I think he's overrated as hell. This kid can't tackle to save his freaking life. He literally missiles at people's legs. How the fuck are you gonna do that to Corey Davis? How the fuck are you gonna do that to goddamn
Julio
Jones? I'm trying to think about his division.
Oh,
who's any good
DeAndre Hopkins?
DeAndre fucking... You're not going to missile your fucking head and body into DeAndre. He's going to hurdle your ass, dude. Like, that shit's not going to work. I know, metrically, great ball skills. And Ohio State, I think, had the best in terms of turnovers, one of the best in the country. Also, I think defending, passing percentage.
I mean, between him and Lattimore, they had some pretty good.
But I just
that's
think
college.
Yeah, and he just took so many bad angles.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, man. I didn't like Malik Hooker at all. I thought he was overrated. I think he's actually my number one most overrated player. Second pick, Quincy Wilson. I liked him, but he wasn't that impressive. I think Tease Tabor is the better cornerback out in the Florida secondary. I thought he definitely ate off of Tease Tabor shutting down the other corners. I think he really benefited from him. And I did like him. And then the other picks, they're just all right. They were okay. I don't really know much about Nate Hairston. I don't really know much about... I did like Anthony Walker, their 5th round pick out of Northwestern. Pretty good player. But overall, it was all right. I like USC offensive lineman, Zach Banner. They usually end up doing all right. But, I mean, it was okay. And I thought their first 2 picks were like my most overrated DBs that you could possibly take, and they got both. So I was not impressed with the Colts at all.
Yeah, I mean, John Gruden, and to take John Gruden's word for what it's worth, I mean, he was visibly, and he never does, he was visibly, like, upset that the Colts did this, and he went back to what Ricky was saying, like, how can you take a corner or safety that can't tackle?
Yeah.
And maybe you can teach some of that, and people love his coverage, and like, you know.
Yeah, his ball skills are good. I mean, if you look at his highlights, his picks are fucking awesome.
Yeah, and he's got a real knack for that. A lot of what the Colts did, their previous GM is a fucking garbage chute. What they've done it's the dumpster fire, and what they've done with Andrew Luck's prime years has been a shame. I know he's still got a lot more of his prime left. I can't
believe they didn't go offensive line.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, we saw how many times did we see like Andrew Luck on his back? I mean, he probably spent more time on his back than like anybody in the league. It just kind of seemed like that all the time.
He's got like half a spleen left.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
2 ribs.
He's a pretty tough guy. I just, I've seen this in Chicago. You get quarterbacks getting hit and hit. All of a sudden, they start seeing ghost pass rushers. And I don't know if Andrew Luck's going to get to that point, but why even take that chance? I think Chuck Pagano sucks as a coach. It was a cool story, but they were awesome with Bruce Arians and been okay with Chuck Pagano. I'm just not a fan of him. I think he's overrated as a coach. I don't know. It's a damn shame what they're doing with Andrew Luck over there with the Colts.
What's your third one?
Third worst team. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Rams. And it's not. I'm just gonna go ahead and trash them for not having a first round pick because they decided to trade up and get Jared Goff. Last year,
damn,
not a fan. I thought it was yeah, let's go with that. I just didn't like it. They took this kid Gerald Everett, and granted, they finally got rid of Jeff Fisher. Thank fucking God. R.I.P. 8-8,
50-50,
7-9.
I mean,
man. It is. Somebody said they're trying to hope that he's Jordan Reed because that's where their coach came from the Redskins.
Oh my God, come on!
I mean, that's putting way too much pressure from a kid from South Alabama.
Poor kid.
I mean, they don't have weapons. They're still relying on Tavon Austin, and they signed Robert Woods. I mean, what are they doing? Like, do they really think that they're going to be able to give Jared Goff a real shot when this is the trash that they're giving him? I don't see any offensive line pick. Their O-line is trash. I mean, Jared Goff is going to need a lot of help. They're wasting Todd Gurley there. Like I said before, I really like Todd Gurley as a player. I just think that he has nothing to work with over there. They took a wide receiver from Eastern Washington. Don't really know much about him. Play for an FCS school. Maybe.
Oh, Cooper Kupp. Yeah, I have. I kind of hate Cooper Kupp because at the combine when they were doing those little drills, Isaiah Ford dropped one ball, and Mike Mayock, the other guy's like, ooh, that's just not good. He's got shaky hands, which all Virginia Tech fans are like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? You've ever watched his tape? And then Cooper Kupp comes up, he drops like 6, and he's like, it's okay because he's got great productivity. Wait, what the fuck? Isaiah Ford is the greatest receiver in the history of our school. He's got productivity. You gonna trash Isaiah Ford and not this dude for I don't know what fucking reason why you're defending this guy so much. The upside, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
you.
there's
Isaiah
not a lot
Ford
of
is better than
upside
Cooper
here.
Kupp.
I mean, he measures. I mean, as a wide receiver, a 4'6", 240, 31-inch vertical. Apparently he's got soft hands. I just think their entire team is soft. I'm not a fan of the Rams. I think they're a trash organization. It kind of starts with their owner, goes down to the quarterback, and it's a damn shame. LA Rams fans deserve better. Yeah, I just did not like a lot of this. A lot of this has to do with their whole organization as a whole.
Yo, shout out to Sam Rodgers, though. Out of Virginia Tech. Yo.
Shout out.
Love him. I feel bad for Sam Rodgers because, like, it's a good pick. Like, it's a good player. Like, oh, man, a 6th-round player. He was awesome. Like, he was so important for us. He's such a great player. He really is. But he needed to go to a team that understands how to use him. Like, they don't know what the fuck.
Seahawks.
They're not going to know.
Would have
like,
been a great pick.
Seahawks. Obviously, Patriots. New Orleans. Fucking Atlanta. A team that understands, like, a Green Bay understands offense. They're not going to use it. They're going to, like, literally put him at fullback and make him block for Todd Gurley. And that's okay, and that's one of the things he could do. But he could do so much things and so many great things for you. I'm so pissed that he went to the Rams. Of all the teams that I thought could be terrible for Sam Rodgers was the Rams.
Yeah,
they don't know what the fuck they're doing on offense.
And I think that kind
Even
of
the Jaguars would have been fine.
And I think that kind of just speaks to where that organization is. I always just thank God I'm not a Rams fan. What they've done recently has just been it's been atrocious. I did not like the Jared Goff pick when they did it. I thought they gave up way too much to do it, and they're gonna feel that for the next couple of years by not being able to have a 1st-round pick. So yeah, I mean that was my least favorite team. I don't know, Ricky, you want to go with your last one and then go with your most overrated or underrated player?
My last team is not my worst draft. I thought there was a lot of good drafts. This is just the 3rd worst that I could find. I thought there was a lot of good drafts. I thought even the Rams, a lot of okay picks, a lot of mediocre picks. I didn't mind those picks so much. The direction, like Eric said. This is just freaking everywhere. They're just scrambling, and they had no 1st-round pick, and you needed something. But I have the Texans, even though I do like Deshaun Watson. At the end of the day, he's still a gamble. And if you continuously look down this draft, Zach Cunningham, a lot of upside, but he's kind of skinny, tiny little baby ankles. Like, I think my ankles is as big as him. Gamble. A lot of upside, super fast, but gamble. Deontay Foreman, 4-star, 5-star recruit out of Texas. I think he was a number 1, maybe number 2 player coming out of Texas. But he was just never productive, and he was never consistent. I don't know what the hell he was doing in college. Maybe he was just loving the Texas life. With all them white girls out there. But, it's a gamble. And the rest of these guys, they're all right. Carlos Watkins, I actually kind of liked him out of Clemson. But a lot of these guys are just, they're okay. They reminded me of kind of like the Bears draft, where they would draft these guys you kind of didn't know, like Julian Davenport out of Bucknell. Like, I don't know who the fuck he is. And Bears, they always draft these guys like, I barely know who the fuck this guy out of West Virginia is. But the Bears are telling us, oh, no. This guy, we really liked him. He's actually really good. You guys just don't know because we had the scouts. And the scouts know and they end up being nothing. They end up doing nothing. Or shit. Or they're shit. Whatever. And I just feel like that's what the Texans did this year. But I do kind of like the Deshaun Watson pick. He's surrounded by so much talent. I think Bill O'Brien is the perfect place for him. And indoors. In the South. And I think Bill O'Brien understands development, and he's going to give this kid a lot of time. So I think it's a good spot for him. But after that, I thought the Texans did not the best job, and I think they took too many gambles.
Yeah, and so now we're going to go into overrated, underrated, players that we liked, didn't like. So I'm just going to go with my underrated, just because I love this pick so much. Kaiser in the 2nd round to the Browns. They had all these opportunities to take a quarterback, to take one of these top 4 whatever guys. They saw Mahomes go. They saw they traded up to not get Watson, Trubisky. and they decided just to go with Kaiser, who he's got great measurables. And what I think is important is he's got a nice throwing motion.
Yeah.
Don't have to necessarily fix that, which I think is a great start. He played in the pro style offense at Notre Dame. I hate Brian Kelly. I think he's the Antichrist. But he at least played in a decent system while he was at Notre Dame. I'm really excited.
What do you think about him saying he's going to be better than Tom Brady, though?
I like it. You know what?
You don't think that's a little too much?
I like it. He may be a little extra, but I just like when players just say whatever's on their mind. And at quarterback especially, why can't these guys have a personality?
I don't mind that. No. I just think at some point it's like if I came out of college and I told my coach, yeah, man, I'm going to be better than Messi, he'd probably look at me like, dude, you're kind of crazy, man. I don't know about that.
Well, let's not get carried away with Brady, because Brady wasn't Brady until 2007. So I mean,
that's true. You're right.
I mean, we're gonna give these kids a chance to develop.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's let them do it.
But that is you're asking a lot out of that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, maybe one day somebody will say like, yeah, I'm gonna be Deshaun Kaiser, and that's gonna be a crazy task as well. So I don't know. I'm really excited.
I like Deshaun. I think he's the best quarterback in this draft.
So, yeah, we're going to come back. This is just like my prediction back in the Derek Carr draft when I really liked Derek Carr. I think he has the potential to be a player like that. So, we'll see. We'll see 3 years down the line where he's at, holding the Lombardi Trophy over his head. We'll see how it goes.
My number one, or should I save it? Nah, I'm gonna go straight up number one. My number one most underrated player, Kareem Hunt out of Toledo. I bet against him, Appalachian State. I forgot what bowl game it was. Appalachian State against Toledo. And he scared the living shit out of me. And it's I feel kind of dumb for it, because I saw their last regular season game, which was against Western Michigan, and he tore them up. And I was like, damn, who's this kid Kareem Hunt? He's a beast. And then I completely forgot about him, and I just said, yeah, I'm just going to bet against Toledo. Nothing could go wrong. And I forgot, and I started shitting my pants like halfway into the game because this dude was tearing him up, and this coach was an idiot and decided not to run the ball on 1st and goal with Kareem Hunt, and said he ran the ball with some freshman or whatever. But he was unbelievable. I think he's super underrated. I don't even know how to describe this kid. He's just great. He's just really good. He's got good speed. He's got good power, good cutting ability, reads blocks well. Just really good player. That's it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go.
Chiefs had a good draft. Had a good draft, by the way. Yeah. That's where he went to.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and just go with overrated. I really feel like the position as a whole is overrated. Probably not going to be a popular take. I'm going with Leonard Fournette. I talked about it before. I don't like the fit. I really feel like you don't need to be taking running backs this early. I mean, the Bears went ahead and got the second highest rushing yards person last year in Jordan Howard. They got him in the 5th fucking round out of Indiana. I mean, that just kind of goes to show that
UAB.
And I just don't. I feel like unless you are a Christian McCaffrey type running back, where you kind of have essentially a Swiss Army knife offensively, you can kind of catch, return, do a lot of things on offense. There's just not a lot of great value taking a running back this high, especially when you have so many other holes.
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette struggled at times last year. I was not that impressed with him when he played against Wisconsin. And he kind of didn't show up in some big games, and that maybe has to do a little bit with LSU, what they were doing at the time. They're shit.
Dude, they loaded up like 8 or 9 guys on the box every time, and they just expected him.
And you know what? And he's gonna see the same thing when he gets to the NFL, because his team sucked. And I don't think we should be too surprised if Leonard Fournette doesn't end up living to the hype. They had in college. It was almost a little unrealistic. People trying to compare him to Adrian Peterson. Let's stop trying to do this. Adrian Peterson is a world-class athlete. I put him up there with LeBron James as like one of the top 2 greatest athletes I've ever seen in my lifetime, and he's doing it in a sport that is incredibly more punishing. So let's stop the comparisons. He is not Adrian Peterson. He'll be lucky if he's, maybe he's good as
Todd Gurley.
Yeah, let's go with that. I mean, he's Todd Gurley good.
He does run me to Todd Gurley a lot, though.
So, we'll see. I mean, if he has a Mark Ingram type career, I think it'd be a good success. I just don't see him being worth a number 4 overall pick, especially in a draft just loaded with talent on defense, especially at corner and defensive end. didn't like the pick that much. I really felt they could have benefited from Jamal Adams, even to Corey Davis. I wouldn't mind that pick. Yeah, just don't like running backs this high. I just think he just has to be a special talent, and I don't really think he's got it. So
He's kind of special.
I don't think so.
Nah?
No, not buying
Did
it.
you see him like throw that kid like he was like a rag doll?
I remember Adrian Peterson carried sorry-ass Bob Stoops to one of the greatest performances I've ever seen.
He's amazing.
And Fournette didn't do that, so not special talent.
He was amazing.
Out there.
My most overrated player, I think I already said it, Malik Hooker. I don't think I'm breaking any news right now. Dude can't fucking tackle. He can't fucking tackle. Ohio State fans, stop hitting me out with that hate. He can't fucking tackle. I'm just gonna go straight up with my next one because that was so quick. Derek Barnett, drafted by the Eagles, straight out of Tennessee. I like Derek Barnett.
Great college player.
Yeah, and he had the most sacks in the history of the University of Tennessee. His metrics, unbelievable. When we watch this kid on tape, it's not about him dominating. It's just him literally getting stonewalled constantly. Like, even, who was Caleb Brantley, I would say. I thought Caleb Brantley, who was, like, I think a 4th-round pick, drafted to one of the teams that I like. I think it was the Cowboys. Out of Florida. He never got stonewalled. Derek Barnett gets straight up stonewalled. And you didn't like Cam Robinson that much. Cam Robinson owned Derek Barnett. I think Derek Barnett, he got like a sack that pretty much the quarterback rolled to him, and he was able to do a little quick move, which was a nice move, and got a sack. And then he got a pick, but it was like a deflection because the quarterback was rolling, and it kind of just fell into his hands. Like, he did a lot of that stuff, and people really like his metrics. Oh, yeah, lots of picks, lots of fumble recoveries. But a lot of things kind of fell into his lap. A lot of them. He gets a lot of praise for that Nebraska game, and he balled out. But that might be his best game. And I don't know if there's even one NFL lineman on that Nebraska team. So, I'm hesitant with Derek Barnett. Metrically, if they have a great... 3 other guys on the defensive line, or they go 3-4, don't they?
Eagles, yeah, and I think
they have other pass rushers.
They kind of run a wide 9 set with Jim Schwartz. I do like the situation he's going to. He was on one of my overrated list. I'm kind of going along with Ricky was saying. He doesn't got a lot of pass rushing moves, and I feel like you need that, especially if you're getting stonewalled and you don't have a counter move. You know, a lot of these guys in college have one move, and when you got the size and athleticism, you know, like Barnett has, if you don't got that counter, you're going to be shut down pretty quickly in the NFL because these O-linemen are not here to fuck around. They are stronger and bigger than anything you're going to see in college.
If he lines up on the left and he gets single team, he could do really well. He could get you like 8.5 sacks in a year. Like, he could do well, but with other pass rushers around him. But if they're thinking like, oh, this kid's gonna be the cornerstone of our defense, I just don't think it's gonna work, man. It's just not. I think he's gonna get really exposed.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily have a second. I just, you know, there was a few people I just didn't like. Derek Barnett was up there as well for me. Kind of going with what Ricky said.
You can keep going if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of going back to Derek Barnett, like I was saying. Yeah, I just feel like. He's super strong. I mean, he's got like good size and everything, and maybe, you know, maybe it works. I just feel like you need to have either elite level athleticism at the defensive end or pass rusher position, or you need to have awesome moves. Like, you just have to have like just a fuck ton of like counters and be able to do like spin moves or like swims. And if you don't got that, I just don't see how you really last. And Derek really doesn't have. You know, he's not like he was known for his like amazing pass rushing moves or his like elite world class athleticism.
I gotta send this to the Tennessee fans, man. They're gonna be pissed.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee, bring all your hate. I mean, try to win your conference for once. I mean, like, then come talk to me.
Just win the goddamn division.
Yeah, win something. I mean, I've seen you guys lose to Florida every fucking year for the last 8 years. What is it? I mean, you guys can't even beat your rivals. You know, don't at me until your team wins the division. I mean, I'm Wisconsin. We at least have done this before.
Oh, but the Big Ten is blah 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 blah
So
blah
whatever.
blah.
We got to go against real coaches with Urban Meyer and now Jim Harbaugh.
Yo, so
just gonna trash on your SEC fans, you know.
Fuck Tennessee.
Don't at me.
Dude, they have so many people drafted and they couldn't do shit with it. Like, what the fuck? What are they doing? But anyway, my last underrated player at Ohio State, drafted by the Dolphins, Raekwon McMillan, and I think what?
Utah just won.
Why are you happy about that?
Let's go into that after the pod.
Oh, all right. Raekwon McMillan, you heard me on Don V Fridays if you saw it. Raekwon McMillan is the best tackler out of every linebacker in this draft that I've at least seen. I don't know how many linebackers I saw. I saw a bunch, at least 15, which isn't a lot, to be honest. But I mean, that's a good chunk size, and it was only the top the top prospects. He's even better than a lot of the defensive linemen at tackling, and I just think tackling is so important. I think people forget. Like I made this example at Down V Fridays. Well, Clay Matthews' little brother. Everybody loved his athleticism, his speed, his ball skills. He was sideline to sideline, but you know the guy couldn't fucking tackle. And if you can't tackle and you wrap up someone, and they still end up getting an extra 5 yards after you tackle them, that's a big fucking problem. And Raekwon McMillan fucking stonewalls people. I've seen maybe 2 yards people get on a tackle on him, and that was really rare. This dude is awesome. He's a sideline kid, super athletic. I think the Hokies try to recruit him and try to get him. We obviously failed because Urban Meyer just came in and snatched him from us. I love Raekwon McMillan. I think he's a great player, and I think the Dolphins are really lucky to get him.
Yeah, so you may have heard me just audibly cheer for the Jazz. They just closed off. Took the series from the Clippers.
Because Rudy Gobert.
Because Rudy Gobert is GOAT. But yeah, guys, that was a recap there of the NFL draft. I know it's been a while. I had a lot of fun at this draft, even though my team did a lot of shit that I didn't like. It was exciting. A lot of stuff happened. And it's just so hard to be able to judge and put grades on these players. And we're probably going to be wrong about half of this stuff. Maybe Malik Hooker ends up being the second coming of Earl Thomas.
Yo, we hit, though, go back to the 2015 NFL draft review. We hit on the motherfucking picks, man. I think I fucked up. You know what? Carolina Panthers, you said, was the most, one of the worst drafts. They went to the Super Bowl the next year. And then the Falcons, they didn't do shit this year. You're right. The Falcons ended up going to the Super Bowl this year, and so that shit on both of us. But I said Vic Beasley was gonna be shit. He was shit for his first year. He was shit for 3 games, and it wasn't until his 4th game where he finally turned out to be Vic Beasley, and he just fucking shit on my life.
We should probably get him tested. I'm still not sure on Vic Beasley.
Yeah, he probably took something. Yo, so like. Before we go to Don V, let me rant a little bit. So I gotta send my daughter to this stupid ass party or family. My baby mamas, because I got a baby mama. My daughter's crying. I gotta send her to her side of the family's party, and shit. I hope you can't see her crying. See, she didn't want to go.
Yeah,
I don't want her around. They're good people. I'm not saying they're bad people, but if I gotta go to that bullshit, I'm so sick of going out there. How are you a grown ass man and you don't talk sports? Like, what is so great about wearing clothes and talking about clothes and shoes? Like, what the? Do you even want to go over there? They don't even play sports. Come over here. Like, they don't. There's no basketball hoop out there. She doesn't want to go.
Yeah, so that's actually her reaction to seeing the Bears drafting Mitch Trubisky and trading up. That was how I sounded on Thursday night. I'm not ashamed of that.
Say something for the pod. Why are you crying?
So, yeah, guys, this is a real issue here. Please educate yourselves. You don't have to be a sports expert. If you have a friend like this, get them help. Get them to a sports center or something. We are available if they want to add us, if they just want some knowledge or just some basic info of what a football is or a basketball is. How I'm even willing to consider hockey in this conversation if you want to talk about it.
Like, I would be interesting if they were like, oh yeah, I know about baseball. I hate baseball, but I'd be like, oh yeah, cool, cuz man, that's all right. Yeah. Nope, not even that. Just, yo, I got these new. My hair. These motherfuckers started talking about their haircuts, and like, oh yeah, they said I had the best haircut at work. Who is complimenting you? What other grown ass man is telling you have the best haircut at work? Who the fuck says that?
Hopefully none of my friends ever. So yeah, man. Just shout out to Ricky here and Lila. Real MVP status over here.
Damn.
So yeah, that's a wrap here for the draft. At least from my side, you're gonna hear up from Don V next. Make sure you go at him as well if you want some hot takes. Virginia Tech, a lot of college football knowledge too. Just drop some good knowledge sometimes some trash tweets, but it's a good follow. So
what's trash tweets?
Sometimes I just like look at it and it's like that's kind of trash, but you know. But yeah, otherwise a good follow. You know, you need a little bit of that in your life. Yeah. Chicago fans, you know, just try to stay strong. It's gonna be a rough couple years. I feel like
we're gonna get Chris Paul though.
Yeah, that's gonna come up on the NBA post finals draft post finals pod. We're gonna talk about who I think the Bulls should go after this offseason and why we really need to stop talking about firing Fred Hoiberg and coming after our owner and our trash ass GMs. Garpax, which is a dumbass name, first of all.
But we almost beat Boston.
No, that's not saying much. Boston is historically the worst number 1 seed in the history of the NBA.
Are they really?
They are up there with the 79 Supersonics. If you want to look up that team, you can go ahead and waste your time doing that. But they are statistically one of the worst point differential number 1 seeds. Also, I think the lowest amount of wins a 1 seed has ever had. Just not buying it. I think they're going to get taken out in 6 games by the Wizards. We're going to see Wizards lose to Bron in the Eastern Finals. Yeah, it's going to be Bron versus Durant, and we're going to see Durant take the chip. And then hopefully Chris Paul comes to Chicago, and we get Team Banana Boat in Chicago.
Yeah,
Chris Paul, and Dwayne Wade.
And they're going to convince LeBron.
We're going to try to get maybe LeBron or Melo.
We're going to get 36-year-old LeBron.
And don't at me if you don't believe me. Stop being a hater.
Dwayne Wade's just gonna sit in the corner and pop threes, man. That's all we need from him.
That's all we need.
He's gonna work on the threes over the summer.
That's all he's gonna do. That and maybe try a little bit on defense. We just gotta play him 20 minutes a game. I'm really excited about this offseason. A lot of players are about to be moved around, and we have hella cap space, just like every other team. But I'm more excited because we're Chicago. See what we got. I'm going to sign off here. Eric saying bye at DZEric23 if you want to follow some real trash tweets. Yeah.
No, they're good tweets. They're not Jamie tweets. Don't follow at Jamie Slays.
Yeah, do
Is
not.
that his name?
Yeah, I think something stupid like that.
All right, fam. Peace.
See ya.
All right, so good talking with the E. That was dope. Lots of knowledge dropped. Lots of NFL knowledge. Now, time for my boy Don V. We're going to hit him up, see what he's doing, see what he thinks about the draft.
Yo.
So, what up, man?
What up?
Yo, we got Don V online from Don V Fridays. Catch him on Twitter at BTZ from VA. Go watch Don V Fridays every Friday. So Don, what you think about the Niners draft?
I gave it like a C. Like I was all like hype when they traded down, got Solomon Thomas, and then they started taking Iowa players. You know how that
Yeah. So how'd you feel when the Bears took Mitch Trubisky? Was it like a weight lifted off of you, or like what was going through your head?
Yes. Yeah. As soon as I saw a trade, like I almost jumped out of a window, man. I was happy as hell, my boy.
Dude, we just burned the
like
whole.
Rick Ross say, rather you than me.
Fuck. We're just no. Obviously, me and Eric big Bears fan, so we just trashed the Bears, and we kind of trashed Trubisky a little bit, even though we got to ride and die with him now. So what do you think about, not taking a quarterback, really? I mean, you took C.J. Beathard, but, I mean, what do you...
With them taking C.J. Beathard, I guess they saying, hey, man, we going into 2018, take one of them, because C.J. Beathard is who? Fucking healthy Brian Hoyer.
At best, I wouldn't even say that.
So we didn't even take a quarterback.
Yeah.
Basically, I guess they punted on the quarterback this year. Like, they took a quarterback because we need one. We got Brian Hoyer and Matt Barkley. I guess Chicago's quarterbacks from last year. So.
Yeah. I loved your Reuben Foster pick. That was your guy, wasn't he? At linebacker?
Yeah. I like, yeah. His piss was not in question when we were discussing linebackers, but yeah.
Uh-huh.
He got cloudy piss, like Big Boy would say. So.
Joe Williams, probably my second favorite running back in this draft. That
Yeah.
good player, man. Good player.
And that was the name that it had. I was like, oh yeah, that's the old boy that had retired and
Yep.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, if
Joe
you
Williams, that just means Carlos Hyde. They're trying to get Carlos Hyde up out of there.
really,
Yeah, I heard that before the draft. Like Shanahan, I guess. I don't know. Shanahan probably just don't like him. I don't know. But I had heard like they trying to get Carlos Hyde up out of here. Like they won't pick up his option and all that.
Oh, okay, right. George Kittle from Iowa. Apparently, Mike Mayock loved him. I don't know. I barely saw him play.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a tight end that flourished in a Kyle Shanahan offense, and I guess that would be Jordan Cameron from the Browns a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if George Kittle was Jordan Cameron type.
I don't know about
I couldn't even
that.
tell you who played tight end for the Falcons last year. So I don't even know how important a tight end is in Kyle Shanahan's offense.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I just think Iowa, I just be thinking bomb for real. Like, no disrespect to anybody from Iowa that's listening, but no, man. No.
You're not far off.
Offense, no.
Any other dudes that you like from your draft? You guys had a few draft picks.
Trent Taylor from Louisiana Tech. Like,
Okay.
I like that pickup. I think, and I'm going back to Kyle Shanahan again, but his offense needs, I guess Trent Taylor can be his Taylor Gabriel. If Marquise Goodwin gets injured, Trent Taylor will be his Taylor Gabriel.
Uh-huh.
A guy he can get the ball out too quickly, things like that.
What do you? Because I remember 2 years ago when we did this, you were not happy. This year it seems like you're a little more optimistic. What does the future, do you think, look like for San Francisco?
Well, the future, you got Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch on 6-year deals, so whether the future is going to be bright or dark, they're going to be here for a while, whether I like it or not. So I just had to just come to terms with it, come to grips with the fact that they're going to be here for a while. They had to give out long-term contracts because they was firing people after 1 year. So
Yeah, I thought that was ridiculous, and it was hard for me to defend Chip Kelly last year. I still think he should be there. I think it's ridiculous if you throw someone out in your first year. That's just a huge sign of incompetence, So I'm glad they finally did, give Shanahan that.
I was with Chip until we played the Bears last year in the snow. That's when I was like, nah, Chip, you got to bounce too, my boy.
Uh-huh.
You got to get the hell up on us out of here.
Yeah, it was hard to defend him. At some point, you got to be like, God damn, Chip, can you? It just looked disorganized.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's still on the Niners to hire him. Like, why did you hire him then if he's such a disaster?
It was either him or Mike Shanahan. That's what it came down to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get into other teams' drafts. Too much on our own teams. most, or you know what? No, let's do that. Let's trash a team. What was the worst draft that you saw?
Chicago Bears. I don't even think it's up for debate. Chicago Bears is out here, man. They on boat. They out here tripping. You trade up. You trade up to get a player that the team at number 2 wasn't going to pick. If the Browns pass on somebody, do I need to say it? Come on, man. I did like the Eddie Jackson pickup.
Yeah.
Even though he's injured or was injured or something like that. But come on, man.
Yeah.
No, you don't do that. And then Adam Shaheen, Mel Kiper been pounding the table for Adam Shaheen for the last 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
But come on, man. It's better playmaking tight ends. Bucky Hodges. That's
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Adam Shaheen.
I'll be honest.
Not that high.
Yeah, I already said it. We talked about. We said the Bears were the worst by far. We trashed the Bears. I mean, we just went after them. But I feel like Adam Shaheen or Shanahan. I don't even know how to say his name now. There's 7 different pronunciations I've heard. There's usually these type of guys that end up being these all-time players. These guys from Division 3, Division 2 that are picked really early. So I'm a little optimistic on that, and also that he probably has no wear and tear because he played with high school kids in college against high school kids. So not much, he didn't get banged up all around. So I feel like, I'm a little more optimistic about him. These guys that get picked really early that are from these FCS schools or Division 3, Division 2 schools. So, I don't know. But, yeah, we were shit. We were shit.
I believe you don't take a project in round 2. That sounds like a round 6. Oh, okay. Developmental, you never know. Round 2, you got to get starters and people who can contribute.
Yeah, I agree. But like I said, history says, hey, these guys are pretty good. So I don't know, man. I'm trying to talk myself into these things. I'm trying to talk myself into you know what? Maybe Mitch Trubisky is gonna be the guy. So fuck.
Yeah, especially I guess Glenn is the Chicago Bears starting quarterback as we speak. I mean,
you don't even understand the type of nightmare I'm living. I'm living an ACC nightmare, dude.
You know them Glennons ain't got good pocket presence, so
yeah,
he gonna need all the blocking he can get.
Oh my god, it's a nightmare. I can't even. Wow, I can't. Wow. Do you have anyone else? Because we went on the Bears. Anybody else? Maybe you don't gotta get one out, but if you got another
a bad draft,
yeah.
I don't think anybody else. I think everybody's just been. I think even the Browns had a good draft.
Yeah.
I got no slander for nobody else, honestly.
Yeah.
As far as the team.
I kind of said that too. I thought the Bears did bad. I didn't like the Colts draft, but then after that it was kind of hard to pick a third. But let's go into let's go into team. Best team. Who had the best draft? Let's do that.
The Cincinnati Bengals had the best draft out of everybody.
Yes.
The Cincinnati Bengals was already a talented team, and they just upgraded. First of all, they got the fastest player in the draft. Then they got the second best running back in the draft. He did off the field. They got nothing to do with his talent.
Yep.
And then they got Carl Lawson. Bengals had the best draft.
Yeah, they did.
Bar none.
Dude, we can't do any more podcasts anymore. We think too alike. We gotta argue at some point because I said the exact same thing.
Yeah, like Stephen A. and Max.
Yes. Yeah, dude. But yeah, I said the Bengals too, the best one. They just hit player after player after player. Joe Mixon, John Ross, fucking almost every pick was unbelievable. They had a kicker who was the greatest kicker in the history of college football in terms of points, or has the most points. So it's they just hit, man.
Yeah, and they always seem to restock the shelves. Like the Bengals always restock the shelves. They always perennially one of the most talented teams in the league anyway. So it seems like everybody they pick is always a luxury.
Mm-hmm.
It don't Joe Mixon. They already had Gio Bernard and Jeremy Hill. That was already considered one of the best 1-2 punches in the league. So it's like, let's just make it. No pun intended with the punching.
Yeah. Oh,
Joe
shit.
Mixon did. I just heard and then it came out wrong. But no, I'm just saying, like, now they got a third, you know, in case Gio don't come back from his injury.
Yeah.
So it's probably a mixture of both players, Hill and Gio. Insane. And John Ross, if medically he's okay, they got Deshaun Jackson 2.0 to go with AJ Green.
Yeah. They took Josh Malone from Tennessee. They took Carl Lawson from Auburn.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Insane. To go with all the talent they already got.
Yup.
So basically, what is up to me, Cincinnati fans, Andy Dalton, look, you don't make the playoffs this year, my boy, and win a game. You got to bounce, Marvin Lewis. You got to bounce.
Yeah.
Y'all got to get up out of here, my boy. Too much talent.
I agree. Let's do most overrated player. Let's go overrated. Yeah, let's do that. Overrated player.
Marlon Humphrey got drafted, if I'm not mistaken, like 16th.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm like, come on, man.
Really? Okay.
We're still doing this with the Alabama DBs. Are we still at this point? We watch Alabama DBs get torched up in college. And we're still believing in Alabama corners. Now, Landon Collins is kind of changing the narrative for their safeties. But is there any good Alabama corners in the league that who was their best corner? Drake Kirkpatrick?
Javier Arenas, maybe. Kinda.
Javier Arenas was a beast. But these Alabama corners, like, all of them, Drake Kirkpatrick, D. Milner, who I like, D. Milner, Kareem Jackson, like
Kareem
that,
Jackson,
good Alabama corner. And Marlon Humphrey wasn't even the best Alabama corner last year.
Mm-hmm. I actually like Marlon Humphrey. I think he might be a little bit different, but I agree. There's just a bad history there. It's almost like their pass rush just makes it really easy for them, and maybe they don't actually get real reps like they should be. So, yeah, I like Marlon Humphrey out of high school, and I thought he was gonna be an NFL star, but you're right. Bad history, man.
Yeah, he went to Bama, and Nick Saban works the shit out of his people.
Yeah. That's why Jonathan Allen fell.
Yeah. Yeah, he got two bad shoulders. I didn't even know that until he got drafted. I was like, I thought he was going to be the second pick, and no.
Yeah.
And Nick Saban getting every drop out them boys for free.
Yeah.
That's a different discussion for a different day.
Yeah, and I'm sure you got something for that. I got something for that soon as well. So let's land on a good note. Most underrated player. Who was it?
The most underrated player. I don't even know if this is like unfair. I just think Mike Williams should have been the first receiver too. I don't know. I don't think Mike Williams is, I guess, underrated, but he should have been the first wide receiver took over. I don't know. I just think I was shocked to see Corey Davis be the first receiver taken. So I would have to say Mike Williams is most underrated as far as receivers being taken. But Isaiah Ford shouldn't have been the 7th round pick.
Yeah, that was bull.
And I pound the table for my boy Isaiah Ford. That's insane. That was bullshit. Bears broke every tech record. 7th round pick. Alright.
Yeah.
A good situation with a great core.
I do like that he did go to the Dolphins. A lot of weapons. I think he'll beat out pretty much every receiver besides Jarvis Landry. And I think he could be easily a slot receiver, and I think he's going to be super productive. So I think he was at a good situation. But yeah, I like Mike Williams too. But I just think Corey Davis might be a little bit more dynamic. But you're right. I mean, the freaking ACC championship game fucking lit us up, dude. He fucking lit us up. It's not like our DBs are bums.
Mike Williams is open, even though he's never open.
Yeah.
I've never seen Mike Williams open ever, but he's always open.
Yep.
Just throw it to him.
Hmm.
He's like Anquan Bolden.
Yeah, I've heard that comparison a few times. Any other underrated or overrated players?
As far as overrated, I think we were talking about Malik Hooker. We've talked about Malik Hooker in the past, and I thought Garyon Conley was overrated before his little situation, and they're saying that it's a false accusation and things like that. But I think Garyon Conley just blew up after the combine, and I was just like, I don't see the Garyon Conley love. But, Ohio State is what's popping right now. They the little DBU right now. So, don't get that money, King. If that rape thing ain't true, Charlotte girl needs to she needs to sit in the clink for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah. I try to stay away from those situations, but when you do that, it just destroys the credibility of the next woman that it actually happens in. I hope I don't even know what I want to hope for what situation, because it's a lose-lose regardless. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Just if you falsely accuse somebody, just destroy the credibility of the next woman. So just watch what you're doing, and men, stop doing what you're doing. What the fuck?
Yeah. Stop approaching ladies in the elevator, talking about foursomes and all that.
Yeah.
Like, you're playing yourself, especially if you got money. Like, I can do it. But if you about to be rich, sit on the sidelines, my boy. Sit on the sidelines. He still got that money, though. He still was first round. They ain't Lyle Collins him.
Oh, I wanted to bring up one thing that I didn't bring it up with Eric, which I wanted to. I completely forgot. When Garyon Conley got drafted, didn't you also think, oh shit, then he must be innocent? Isn't that, I don't know, well, let me ask you that. Did you think that as well? When he got drafted?
I don't know. I really don't know. Like, cause it is Oakland we talking about. And yeah, Al Davis is dead, but Al Davis is still drafting for the Raiders. Let's just call it a buck. Garyon Conley ran at the combine, and Al Davis from Beyond the Grave was like, listen, man, if y'all think y'all moving to Las Vegas, I will haunt the shit out the new stadium unless y'all take Garyon Conley. Like, we need the fastest player available. That's the fastest player available. Take him. Or I'm haunting this motherfucker. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Al Davis is still out here drafting. Al Davis is 197 years old, and he is still drafting for the Oakland Raiders.
Oh god, yeah, that it did definitely feel some Al Davis-y. That was kind of weird, but I'm just saying my reaction was like,
renegade fast person getting drafted by the Raiders. That was an Al Davis pick.
Yeah, but I feel like it's fair. Is it fair? Like my point of view, like instantly from that moment, I was like, oh well, he got drafted. Shit, then he has to be he has to be innocent. Like what NFL team would make that decision?
He still might be guilty though.
I'm not saying he isn't.
Really want somebody.
I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying, like, these NFL teams have so much power and so much money and so many connections that if you see this guy in a situation like this and you don't know for 100% that he's innocent and you draft him, then you're just completely incompetent. I don't think most NFL teams are completely incompetent. It's the number one profiting business in the world.
Incompetent.
Huh?
These people are completely incompetent. These are the same people. John Elway said, well, I call Jim Kelly, and he said Chad Kelly's a good kid. So, yeah, these people are incompetent.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
We're dealing with some real life
scumbags.
We're not dealing with the smartest batch of people.
That's true.
These are the people that say, hey, Joe Mixon, did you stop hitting women? Yes. Okay, you're on board. Like, we're not dealing with the crunchiest chips in the bag either, though.
It's true. I'm just saying they got a lot of connections that I feel like they could have asked, I don't know, like the police, hey, what do you guys find? And the police would tell them everything because they're in an NFL team. That's just what I thought.
Was like nothing.
So,
yeah.
That just went through my mind.
Or it was nothing that could be proven.
Right.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Are you sure y'all can't prove it? Cool. We can live with if he probably did it, but can you prove it?
That's true. Yeah, that's what they would do.
They would do it.
So, Any other projects from you in the future?
Any other projects for me? Well, basketball. I'm gonna start doing basketball, NBA playoffs type of things. I'm not the biggest basketball fan in the world, but it's not football season. You think some people can do football all year long. I can't. You know, it's unless somebody gets arrested or any football things, any football news happens. I'm moving over to basketball for the next couple of shows, and I'm gonna try to do a couple of interview some people. Things like that.
What was I say? Last question about the Niners. So didn't draft Mitch Trubisky. Who do you expect? Do you think? I'm sorry. Do you think the Niners were smart enough to say, "Hey, we don't have a quarterback in this draft. There's no quarterback here. We're gonna load up on all these players. Obviously, we're gonna be probably shit because we don't have a quarterback, and we're gonna take Sam Darnold or Josh Rosen next year."
The Rosen one, that'll be the dream.
The Rosen
that
one.
would be the dream. The Rosen one, that'll be the dream. Like Darnold, like everybody loves Darnold. I watched Darnold play maybe 3 games, and he has the talent. But we do this every year where we anoint somebody at the end of last year and say, he's the number 1 pick next year.
Yep.
Write it down. And that person never, we pick that person to pieces, and they end up being a second-round pick or Deshaun Watson dropping to the Texans. We do that every year, so
yeah.
I think Rosen, in the end, will probably be the best quarterback because he's the one who came in. He's the best quarterback already, and he had to take his lumps, and he done took some L's, and now it's time for the Rosen one to take flight.
Yeah. He's been living with that pressure for a while now, and I feel like he'll be comfortable next year and he'll rise up to the key. I think it's going to be a good quarterback draft with those two. It's going to be really interesting. The draft next year is going to be really interesting. I'm really fucking upset that we took Mitch Trubisky and we won't be part of that sweepstakes. But now I got to live with it.
And can I add on the next year's draft class was problematic about it? The next year's draft class as far as quarterback, this is the greatest quarterback draft class and there's no mention of Lamar Jackson. Now, I don't want to make it show racial.
Yeah, that's fine.
Lamar Jackson is the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, and he might not be the best, quote-unquote, pure passer, but he's a better football player than Rosen, Darnold, and Josh Allen, and he's proven that on the field, and it's kind of disrespectful to a talent like Lamar Jackson that he's not even being considered in this great quarterback class. He's not even being considered in it. I just think, when people bring up this great quarterback class that's upcoming, put some respect on Lamar Jackson's name. He got more touchdowns than your favorite quarterback and your favorite running back combined. That's all I had to say.
I think if he wanted to, Lamar Jackson could be probably a top 5 receiver in the league. But I agree with you that Tim Tebow got picked in the first round. If Tim Tebow could get picked in the first round, Lamar Jackson throws a fucking country mile, and he throws a goddamn bullet. I mean, if you gonna draft Tim Tebow, fucking might as well draft Lamar Jackson, because he's a much better athlete and a better passer.
But they're not even going to consider Lamar Jackson as a passer. That's the difference. They knew all the Tebow's flaws and was like, well, damn it, he's a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They will not do that for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's going to have to. It's just like Greg Ward Jr. They're going to say, hey, you better learn how to catch. You're going to be in Canada.
Yeah. That's fucked up, dude. So yeah, this was Don V. Watch Don V Fridays or listen to Don V Fridays. Follow him at VTZ from VA. Anything else you want to plug in or something? Your sign off or whatever?
No, that's it, man. I just need everybody to stay blessed, man. Stay cool, stay hydrated. Eat plenty of bananas, drink lots of water. Keep that skin good. Lots of vitamin D out here, lots of sunshine.
For sure. All right, man. I'll see you.
All right, God bless.
Peace.